Hey, what's up guys, Benny here, and it is finally the time that so many of us have been waiting for, the arrival of Destiny 2. But obviously Destiny has been going on for 3 years now, so it could be quite easy to feel left behind, but thankfully Destiny 2 is also being treated like a fresh start, as every player is going to be starting from scratch, so no one is going to have a huge head start when it comes to the strikes and raids. So in this video, we're going to let you know everything that you need to know to be completely ready for Destiny 2. I think a good place to start for Destiny 2 is the game's story, as you'll have probably seen the main villain of Destiny 2, the Red Legion leader, Ghoul, in a few of the trailers, causing all sorts of problems. But in Destiny 2, humanity's last safe city has fallen to an overwhelming invasion force led by Ghoul, the imposing commander of the brutal Red Legion. He has stripped the city's guardians of their power and forced the survivors to flee, which you'll have got to witness if you played the very first mission, Homecoming, in the Destiny 2 beta. You'll venture to mysterious unexplored worlds of the solar system, including the planets Nessus, Io, Titan, and of course Earth, to discover an arsenal of weapons and devastating new combat abilities. To defeat the Red Legion and confront Ghoul, you must reunite humanity's scattered heroes, stand together, and fight back to reclaim our home, which is what we're going to do over the course of Destiny 2's campaign missions. And because of this, if you're a Destiny 1 player, the beloved tower where you probably spent a lot of your spare time when you weren't off doing strikes, raids, or the Crucible, is now completely destroyed, including all your equipment, which is why Destiny 2 is a complete fresh start for every player picking up a copy of the game. Now, one thing to be aware of is not everything within Destiny 2 is going to be available the second you pick up your copy of the game. This is to give everyone a chance to complete the story, discover the world, and also to gear up your Guardian so that you can be ready for the 6-man raid when it becomes available. More on that in a second. However, you have an absolute ton of things that you can throw yourself into right from day one. First of all, you're going to want to complete the story. Not only is this going to be the best way of leveling up your Guardian to max level, it's also going to be pretty damn epic going up against the Red Legion. Bungie's mission design has really improved since the original Destiny. If you played the Taken King expansion, you know that some of those levels almost felt like classic Halo assaults. If the Homecoming mission is anything to go by that we got to play in the beta, Bungie have put even more work into the story for Destiny 2, so it's definitely going to be worth a playthrough, and I'm pretty sure we'll end up getting some awesome gear as we go about finishing it. On day one, you'll also have access to the Crucible, which is where all the competitive multiplayer modes live. If player versus player is more of your thing, you can just throw yourself straight into that, and it's the thing that I absolutely love about Destiny, is that you can do whatever appeals to you most to earn gear and level up. One big thing to be aware of is the changes that have been made to the Crucible since Destiny 1. All game modes are now 4v4 rather than 6v6, so you'll find yourself being killed less by supers all the time, which I think can only be a good thing, and it's just going to make the Crucible just that little bit more competitive. As you level up, you'll also gain access to strike missions, exactly how you did in Destiny 1. If you didn't already know, strikes are 3-man co-op missions where you'll fight your way through a level before coming up against a boss at the end of it, but you'll be rewarded with some good loot and experience for your troubles. These are also pretty damn epic if the beta was anything to go by. But the strikes aren't the only thing that you'll have access to on day one that'll end up in a boss fight, as when you go on a patrol on one of the 4 planets, you'll be able to discover lost sectors, which are effectively mini dungeons which you'll have to explore, and then at the end, come up against a boss, and you guessed it, you'll be rewarded with some more loot. And on day one, if you're an absolute legend and manage to blitz your way to max level as soon as possible and get yourself a bit of decent gear, you'll also be able to take on the super difficult Nightfall strikes. These add modifiers to missions to challenge you in ways the main game doesn't. You can't matchmake a team for Nightfall strikes as they aren't designed for total strangers to bumble on through. But if you want to get your hands on some exotic weapons as quickly as possible, you'll want to level up and take these on as soon as possible. And of course, on day one, you'll also have access to the farm, which is a new social hub for Destiny 2, just like the tower was, which will have your vendors, bounties, and also a football pitch for when you have nothing else to do. But one of the biggest and most important decisions that you're going to have to make when you pick up Destiny 2 straight away is which of the 3 classes are you going to play as? The Warlock, the Hunter, or the Titan. Each have their own individual abilities and playstyles, which are also changed further, including which super you use, which is your class's strongest ability, by what subclass you choose to use within each class. So I'm going to try help you choose if you haven't already. The Titan is the tank of the three. He's the one that's going to be running straight at the enemy first before anyone else and trying to get up close and personal. His new subclass for Destiny 2 is called the Sentinel, where his super ability, Sentinel Shield, which is pretty damn similar to Captain America if you ask me, which you can either hit enemies with, deflect oncoming damage, or throw it at enemies a little further away. But something to also take note of which may affect your decision is the new class abilities in Destiny 2, where Titans can now create a protective barrier to stop incoming damage to help your fire team survive a little longer in tough situations. You then have the Hunter class, who is my personal favourite, partially because of Cade, who you'll have seen in almost all of Destiny 2's trailers, but the Hunter is the most agile class in Destiny with the ability to triple jump or roll out of the way of oncoming damage, which I find massively helpful in the Crucible or in certain boss encounters in strikes and raids. In Destiny 2, you'll also have access to the brand new Arc Strider subclass, which allows you to form a staff of pure arc energy and acrobatically take out your enemies. And you'll also still get everyone's favorite Gunslinger subclass, so you can get the Golden Gun, which I think is still the best super for the Crucible. And then last but not least, you have the Warlock, who I really see as an old school destruction mage, whose class ability allows yourself and other members of your fire team to do increased damage if stood in the Empowering Rift, or heal your allies if you decide to go for the Healing Rift, which in strikes and raids is quite possibly the most useful class ability out of the three. You also have the brand new Dawnblade subclass, whose super Daybreak allows you to unleash hell by launching solar damage from the air, which works really well when clearing out an objective in the Crucible or against large group of enemies in a strike. But do make sure to let us know in the comments down below which class that you're going to be playing as in Destiny 2. This may sound obvious, but weapons are at the heart of Destiny. Not only do they wipe out alien scum, but they give you something to work towards. You're always hunting for better equipment. The most desirable weapons are the exotics. They are the rarest and most powerful guns in the game. They also have excellent names like Sweet Business or Risk Runner. In Destiny 1, the hunt for exotics was what pushed many Guardians to play for hundreds of hours. Expect it to be similar in Destiny 2. But in Destiny 2, guns are split into three categories: kinetic, energy, and power. Each Guardian can equip one of each. In slot 1, you have your kinetic weapons. In Earth language, that means a gun that fires bullets. Here you'll find auto rifles, scout rifles, pulse rifles, hand cannons, sidearms, and SMGs, all very familiar stuff if you played Destiny 1. In slot 2 is your elemental weapon. This covers the same classes of guns as the kinetic, but these weapons have elemental properties. They can do arc damage, solar damage, or void damage. These elemental ammunitions do bonus damage when an enemy is weak against that type of element. They're also very effective against rival Guardians using their super ability, so keep an eye on that in player versus player modes. And finally, you have power weapons. These are big, meaty pain bringers. The class covers rocket launchers, grenade launchers, shotguns, sniper rifles, fusion rifles, and swords. They deal a huge amount of damage, but that's counterbalanced by a lack of ammo. Power ammo drops are much rarer, as the only way to guarantee a drop is to kill an ultra enemy. These are the ones with a yellow health bar. Prioritize these guys and you'll be rewarded with the big guns. Finding a combination that works for you is a huge part of the fun in Destiny, so you definitely want to experiment. The story campaign is a great place to get a feel for different weapons before the difficulty ramps up in the end game content. Make sure to let us know in the comments what combo you are going to be using. Now, you may have noticed throughout this video I've mentioned raids a fair few times, which I believe to be the pinnacle of Destiny. Raids are 6-man dungeons where you come up against the most difficult, unique, challenging bosses in the game, as well as earning the best possible loot. Raids require teamwork, coordination, and the ability to learn unique encounters, which you won't find anywhere else, such as in the Vault of Glass in the original Destiny with Gorgon's Labyrinth, which is the only place in the game where you have to use stealth and avoid detection in order to survive. And I'm sure in Destiny 2, Bungie are going to step it up another gear. However, we don't know too much about the raids that are going to be available to use in Destiny 2, as they're one of the game's best kept secrets, which we have to figure out all by ourselves from the moment that we step into the raid for the very first time. But one thing to remember, raids will not be available on day 1 and will however become available on September 13th at 6 PM BST. One new Destiny 2 feature you are definitely going to want to use is clans. These work a bit like a Destiny 2 specific friend list. When you join a clan, you'll be able to see which other members are online when you're playing, making it much easier to find teammates for strikes and raids and other cooperative content. Even better, by being part of a clan, you can earn additional rewards in-game. As the clan completes in-game activities, it levels up the group, unlocking new perks such as increased rewards from public events, improved rewards from killing enemies, or better chance of rewards when completing playlist activities with a fellow clan member. There's also a really cool feature called guided games. This allows a clan to host an event such as a raid and then open the door to solo players who are looking to take on the challenge. Although the game won't allow 6 complete strangers to matchmake for a raid, it means that someone new to the game can team up with an experienced group and get a taste of that co-op content. It's something we've been doing on Xbox One with the looking for group function, but it's great to see a feature like this make its way into the full game. So why not kick off your Destiny 2 experience by joining Xbox On's clan? We're looking for noble warriors who refuse to cheat, and that may sound a bit rich coming from me, but it will be good in the long run. For a link to our clan page, make sure to check out the description down below. You are definitely going to want to get involved. Of course, if there's one thing we know about Destiny is that it never stands still for long. This is a game that is constantly evolving with new updates and content. But hopefully this guide should help you get your head around the first few weeks with the game, and if you're looking for guidance, you can always join our clan and ask for help. If you have any questions you want answering, why not add them down in the comments below, and make sure to subscribe for all the latest games on Xbox One, and I'll see you guys again soon. Bye!